Hello, this is John Raulius from Murdoch University, Dubai. This is my video presentation for the unit BUS353, and today I will be talking about the process of repotting a snake plant and ways to optimize this. So for our first step, we have remove the plant from the pot. To do this, you typically want to tilt it at an angle and allow gravity to help in removing the plant. Forcefully tugging at it or removing it would end up causing damage, and you typically do not want this happening. Step 2, you would want to loosen or trim the roots. So using your hands, you gently loosen the plant's roots and trim off any unwanted roots. They typically look thread-like and are longer than the rest. The only roots that you want to keep are the thick ones. Step 3, remove the old potting mix. So as your plant grows, it takes some nutrients away from the current mix. So you'd want to typically take about 1/3 or more from the current pot before adding the new. Following this, we have step 4. You would want to pour an equal amount of what was removed and put in the new potting mix. Additionally, you'd have to pack it down to remove any air pockets. For step 5, add the plant back into the pot. Make sure it is centered and then add the potting mix around the plant until it's secured. Ensure not to put too much of the soil, as you also want some room for the plants, for the roots to breathe. Finally, center the soil on top and then water accordingly. And it's also worth noting that freshly repotted plants do not need to be fed fertilizer. Moving on to the optimization processes and my personal recommendations. So the first one is to take soil directly from the ground. Now, typically this would not be a good idea. However, repotting an established plant using outdoor dirt or soil would not be a huge concern, as the plant would be strong enough to handle any additional pathogens. This method would also prove to be cost-effective and convenient, as it does not require you to go out and buy potting mixes. Second, rather than taking from the ground itself, why not try in-ground gardening, where instead of planting your snake plant through containers, you could plant it directly in the ground itself. This saves a lot of time and labor of repotting. You're having to repot your plants. It also significantly increases your chances of success in growing your plant, and it cuts down on costs. And finally, we have hydroponics. So rather than having the process of, removing soil, using soil, and so forth, how about removing it entirely and using hydroponics? There are a few things to note though with hydroponics, and it is important to note that while hydroponics is a great way to grow your plants, it is an alternative process and cannot be done with plants grown through soil. So if your plant is already used to growing with soil, adopting the hydroponics process will end up rotting the roots and wilting away the plant. So if you are interested in implementing this process, you typically want to wait for your snake plant to develop newborns. You could trim away these newborns, isolate it, and begin this propagation method. So moving on, the Sansevieria, aka snake plants, while they cannot survive in overly watered soil, they can survive in 100% water. So thus is the hydroponics process. So using this process maximizes yield if you have small spaces, and it allows your plant to grow faster. Some other advantages come with having to not deal with soil. It grows 2 times faster, no weeds, and fewer pesticides. Thank you. This has been my presentation on repotting snake plants and ways to optimize it.